Hey, everybody, and welcome to Real Life Real Crime Daily for Wednesday, May 3rd. And I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Woody sounds awfully close this morning.
Say, hey,
yeah, he's close enough for me to punch him
I sound
right now.
Well, that's because I'm wearing my Buttafuoco shirt.
I'm very
right.
tempted.
Jim's wearing his Buttafuoco shirt.
Punch
I'm
him
just saying what your shirt
right
say.
now.
Yes.
Thank you to the lifer who sent the
Yeah, what was her name again?
Buttafuoco shirt. I'm not telling you. I'm a personal safety interest for her because we know you are pissed.
The I-Team is conducting an investigation, and we will find you. But we have more important things to talk about right now. Guys, my wife was out of town all weekend. Mike was chef for the weekend.
Yes. Laying out.
Yes.
I did, and unbelievable. I did the beef quesadillas, which were incredible. And I did the turkey chili, which was also outstanding.
Really?
Really, really good.
Wow.
So, my older son can be a little bit on the finicky side. He's the one who, I don't want beans in my chili and no tomatoes in this and all that. And I'm like, fuck you, sit down. You're eating this shit. And loved it. So 2 major thumbs up on those. And I got to place my order for this week
I got a box coming in from HelloFresh today. Code RLRC 50.
You get yours on Monday?
I don't know. My wife ordered it when I was coming back.
I get mine on
Tuesday.
Wednesdays.
On Tuesday, I mean.
I get mine on Wednesday.
I get mine Thursday. Why do we all have different days? Okay.
I'm sure it just
figure
comes
that
whenever,
out.
right?
Yeah, you can pick. I think
they
you
don't
can
have
pick
like
your
a
day.
specific
Okay,
day.
I guess I picked Thursday. I don't remember picking Thursday, but I guess that I did.
Well, I mean, and,
I do want to mention, guys, that the Shopify.
I was about to say.
The Shopify is legit.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of merch up for not a lot of merch, but a good bit of merch up for Bloody Angola.
Right.
And just an amazing platform.
Yeah.
Well, Shopify has refused to sell #Buttafuoco shirts. That's the one thing they will not aid and abet felons.
We'll see about
in
that.
the commission of a crime. So that is not happening.
Real though, when we started out on Real Life Real Crime, and we had all these big ideas about merch and stuff, and found out we didn't know what we didn't know, and we've been using Shopify for almost 4 years now. And, it really it's like having a whole office of employees that do specific jobs, and they handle it all for you.
Yeah.
And we have a code for
RLRC, Shopify.com/RLRC, all lowercase.
Yep.
And that'll get you $1 for an entire month of Shopify service.
If you have a small business of any kind,
it's night and day.
Well, they have libraries of stuff where you can research. They have professionals that help you. There's so much more than just handling merchandise.
That's
everything. And when it comes time to file taxes, handle any kind of paperwork on your business, it is all there for you, done ahead of time for you. I mean, I can't imagine 20 years ago, 25 years ago, being an entrepreneur, individual proprietor, having to track all
I could have never done it because that's not my forte.
Sadly, I did that till like last week. Till I discovered Shopify. And then lastly, stamps.com. Look, I shipped out 7 boxes yesterday for Bloody Angola members that are ward members that get a free gift every quarter.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, that is legit. That saved me about an hour at the post office.
Yeah.
And some money,
check them
too.
out.
And some money.
Yeah.
Just not having to get out and drive to go do it, right?
Yeah, and I got a free scale.
Right, free scale and the discount on the shipping.
Yep.
So which is love.
Check them out too.
And last but not least, ZocDoc. ZocDoc is genius. Almost as genius to me as Drizzly, because I hate going to the doctor's office or searching for the doctors and
that's the problem. You don't know if they take your insurance, and then it's a rat race.
And ZocDoc has all the highest rated doctors. Go in and review it and pick one that you want, right? And that you're comfortable with.
Well, and you talk about convenience factors and a bunch of things that used to consume massive amounts of time. Telemedicine has really become a game changer, and this is one of the leading companies in the space. And, look, no longer do you have to take the trip to the doctor's office that you don't even know, go through all the phobias that you go through.
Get sent to another doctor, sit in a waiting room full of sick ass people.
And old magazines. Woody's case, old sticky magazines at his urologist's office.
In Mike's case, he doesn't have to look at anybody wearing Buttafuoco shirts.
That's right. Let's get into some crime.
Fines just keep piling up.
Yeah.
Tell us about what's going on at Reggie's.
Well, y'all, let me tell you this. First of all, the audio today is naturally much improved. I'm back in the studio. Thank you, boys, for putting up with that. Unfortunately, I was not successful in giving Stormy Daniels her bribe money from Mike said she has a funny face, but I tried to find her and I couldn't get a conjugal visit with Schabusiness. But we're back and we live and learn and roll with it. But let's bring it back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, Reggie's, y'all, is the bar where Madison Brooks obviously was overserved and that she left and was allegedly raped. And then, of course, we know she was run over and killed a short time after that. But now Reggie's naturally got their ass in a crack. And this is, the wheels of justice or the wheels of red tape move slow in Louisiana. But finally, Reggie's got its justice. And Reggie's lost their license and the owner's banned from running bars after Madison Brooks' death. In front of a dozen of Madison Brooks' family and friends, and owner of Tigerland Bar, Reggie's, which is a South Louisiana institution, or was, accepted a settlement that effectively closes the business for good under current ownership and bans him from ever again operating a business in Louisiana that sells alcohol or tobacco. The consent agreement, which includes a $15,000 fine, was announced by attorneys representing the Office of Alcohol and Tobacco Control and Reggie's owner, Darren Adams, at the beginning of a Thursday morning hearing. The consent agreement negated the need for a hearing, much like a trial in court, to determine the bar's fate following 19-year-old Madison Brooks' death after she was overserved there that night in January.
Did you say $15,000 fine?
I think he got
that's
more
of administration. That's not going to be the civil suits and everything else that are going to come out of this. That's the state of Louisiana saying, slap on the hand, give me $15,000, and you can never do it again.
Yeah,
right. And he can't operate, but can he be an investor in?
Well, I don't know. He's never going to have a license in his name again.
Right, but you can be an investor in.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's always ways around it. So, but goodbye to Reggie's.
Yeah, step in the right direction. Anyway.
Right.
Well, one more update for you all, and this is hot off the presses. Woody mentioned, and if you were listening last week and you could tell, you could understand what he was saying with his Farmer Fran from Waterboy accent, that he spent some time around the prison where Taylor Schabusiness is being held. Last night, she filed a restraining order against podcaster Woody Overton. This is unprecedented. I've never heard of anything like this. I don't know what you were doing when you were on premise, but actually, folks, she did not. She did not actually file a restraining order against Woody.
It was against Mike Agovino.
But there is a little bit of an update on her case. A judge has denied a motion to change venue. So the Taylor's new attorney, Christopher Freilich. Okay, so this is not the guy she kicked the shit out of in the courtroom.
He gave up.
This is the next guy in line, and I don't think I think the over/under on him is a few months, but he filed on her behalf a motion to change venue on the basis that there's been too much publicity in Brown County and that they're not going to get jurors who aren't, aware of the case and haven't followed the case in the news, which is likely to be the case. It's pretty well known nationally. I don't know how it wouldn't be well known locally.
It's not like that though. Everybody thinks these change venues are going to get granted, and they never do. Almost never do. And that's because of the voir dire process. When it's They vet them. They ask you, just like Courtney Coco's case. I mean, can't get any more national attention than that, but they ask every one of them, did you hear the podcast? Do you have any preconceived notions? Did you see it on the news? Whatever. And they still say, would that make you biased or non-biased? Like one juror said it, if Woody Overton said it on a podcast, I believe him, and there's no way y'all could ever change my mind. They got excused, right? But
well, that's ridiculous. They should
Schabusiness. That's, I mean,
yeah. Well, he denied it. Okay, right. So and previously, on the day that she kicked the shit out of her prior attorney, she had been declared competent to stand trial. So she's kind of running out of wiggle room on stuff here. I mean, you chop a guy's winky off and leave it in a bucket for his mama to find.
His head.
And his head.
And his
legs.
Too. Both of his heads, I should have said. Yeah. So so unfortunately, Taylor may be out of Schlitz here, but we're thinking about you, honey, and sorry about Woody and the restraining order.
I'm coming back.
All right, so we're going to move on to y'all. This is a developing story. It is absolutely wild, and it's all over the news right now. And that is the 2 missing girls that were found with 5 others dead in Oklahoma on a piece of property. And I'm going to bring you to the kind of the background of this story. And so on Monday, there was an emergency alert issued for 2 missing girls out of Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol, they were looking for 14-year-old Ivy Webster and 16-year-old Brittany Brewer. Now, they were suspected to be with 39-year-old Jesse McFadden. Jesse McFadden, y'all, had quite a record. He was given a 20-year sentence in 2004 and was convicted of first-degree rape. Bad dude, right? Yeah. Now, while serving his sentence, he was also accused of using a cell phone to exchange nude photos and videos with an underage girl. That was while he was in jail.
Right.
This guy, obviously, sick fuck all the way around. Now, he was charged with soliciting sexual communication with a minor in that case, but eventually he gets out of jail. And he was basically in the process of having to go back to court on that charge for the cell phone issue where he was exchanging nude pictures with that minor. The day that he was supposed to go back to court is when these 2 girls went missing. So what did the police do? Obviously, they start searching for him, and they found out that he and the 2 girls and some others were going to go work on a ranch, similar to like what you would see on Yellowstone, something like that. So they found that out, and they found out where they were kind of staging to leave, and it was this big Oklahoma property. They go to the property, and they find 7 bodies. The bodies are of the 2 missing teenagers that they were looking for initially, McFadden, and 4 others.
That's a lot. The
sheriff said that Webster, Brewer, McFadden obviously were identified as the dead. The other 4 bodies they haven't even identified yet. Although my suspicion is they have an idea of who they are. They just haven't released it.
They hadn't notified their family members or whatever.
Yeah. So what happened was deputies learned that Webster's left during the evening hours of Saturday, April 29th. He was going to spend the weekend with a friend. She was supposed to be home by 5 p.m. that Sunday, April 30th, but she never came home. So I would suspect that's one of the bodies. Webster was reported to be staying with 39-year-old Jesse McFadden, who, along with 2 other family members, all were missing. The sheriff's office said in a news release that they learned that no one from the family went to the ranch, and there had not been any contact with them since Sunday. So they were supposedly going to this ranch to work. They never showed.
What kind of play or game he ran on them to say that? Like, you going to work on a dude ranch this weekend with a chomo?
It's just a sick individual. So deputies also learned that Brewer was among them and was also picked up by McFadden on that Saturday evening in the early evening hours. So thinking around 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, so the two girls were not together.
Correct. They were picked up separately. They were together in the end, obviously.
Right, but I misunderstood from the first thing that they were together. Okay.
And the strange thing about this case, y'all, and of course it's developing, is there's been no word. My assumption with following this case is that he killed everybody and then killed himself. But there's been no confirmation of that. There's absolutely no mention of that, as a matter of fact. Yeah, as of this recording.
There's no mention of him being dead, right?
He's definitely dead.
So, yeah, you're right. So they identified him as one of the 7.
Correct. But they're not saying, was it a murder-suicide, or did somebody kill all 7 of them?
Well, there'd be massive manhunt. Yeah, they would be alerting the public to the danger of somebody else out there.
I would bet.
That would be my
This guy's a video guy or whatever, and I'm just coming off the top of my head, but I bet he filmed the executions and stuff. So they're you don't want to sensationalize and what have you, but and then you got to take into account, so they got to notify family members and tell them what happened, and they don't want videos to get out and stuff like that. It's just a
horrible situation.
So this was like his grand finale.
Yeah. His Jonestown.
Well, we'll keep you updated.
7, I can't imagine. I mean, do you get all 6 of them in a room and go back to back to back, or you run around the ranch and doing them independently? It'd be interesting. From a criminal mind standpoint, I'd like to know the details. So anyway.
We'll definitely give them to you.
But you know what? He's a piece of shit and may burn in hell. But, sometimes, gentlemen, it's okay to break the law.
Really? Coming from Woody Overton. Exactly. Okay.
Always break. Well, I do the gray area, but this is a story about a kid who broke the law. Okay, and he's a hero for it. So in Michigan, you must be 16 years old before you can get a driver's license and become a legal driver. Same as Louisiana.
Yep.
But Dylan Reeves, a 7th grade student in Warren, Michigan, broke that law, and he's a hero for it. The 7th grader is being praised as a hero for preventing his school bus from crashing after his bus driver lost consciousness. Dylan Reeves, a student at Lois E. Carter Middle School, took immediate action on a bus ride after school Wednesday afternoon in an extraordinary act of courage and maturity. The bus driver experienced some dizziness while driving and followed protocol by alerting home base that she wasn't feeling well and was going to pull over to allow the transportation department to dispatch someone to provide her with relief. But the driver didn't make it, to where she planned to park. And eventually she passed out and couldn't stop the bus, which started to veer into oncoming traffic. Now think about that. The Reeves, that's the kid, y'all, the 7th grader, who was seated about 5 rows back, jumped up from his seat, threw his backpack down, ran to the front of the bus, and grabbed the steering wheel and brought the bus to a stop in the middle of the road. And even in the midst of a panic, a video shows Reeves is seen taking control of the steering wheel and slowly pushing the brakes and then yelling to the other passengers, "Someone call 911 now. Someone should call 911. I don't care. Someone called 911. But he had the wherewithal to push it slowly, like in anticipation that the bus was full of passengers. So despite the justifiable panic on the bus, you could imagine this is like probably a 6 passenger bus, one of the big yellow ones, right? And it was full at the time. But there was no damage to the bus nor any of the surrounding property. Kids saved the day, and all the kids were loaded into a different bus to make their way home. And there were no injuries to any of the kids. Now, the bus driver, who's a 40-year-old woman, is unstable, but with precautions, was transported to hospital for examination. How about that, huh?
A 7th grader.
And would you say his last name was?
It is Dylan Reeves.
Yeah, like as in
Superman.
Keanu Reeves.
And what was it? Speed.
Because that was a move
Speed.
like Keanu would have done.
How about
in Speed?
How about Christopher Reeves? Superman.
Yeah.
Also would have done that move.
I'm sticking with Keanu.
Hey,
here,
shout out
who
to
I think could actually take
Shout out
Superman
to-
in a fight if it
that's
came
a
down
debate.
to it. But, no,
Shout out to my buddy Mike Parlow, who drives the bus in Toma, Wisconsin. And I'm glad it wasn't you, buddy, that passed out behind the wheel.
no, but I definitely take John Wick over Superman in a fight. But the new Superman, not the old Superman.
Superman's
But I mean, think about the one courage, the two
Yeah, you either got that or you don't, right?
the confidence and calm to just take charge of the moment. This video is everywhere. Definitely go online and check it out if you get a chance. But this kid is a cool customer. He goes up there. He brings the bus to a slow stop. I mean, he doesn't slam the brake and the kids don't go flying. I mean, he is and there were 60-something kids on that bus. Yeah. Major hero, little Keanu.
Reeves.
You are the man.
Look, and we're going to post that video on the Facebook. How about that? At least a link to it.
Post it. And it's love. The one last weekend I was in Wisconsin, I had another bus video came out where the bus driver, me and my buddy Mike Parlow is the bus driver in town when we're talking about it. The bus driver, the kids were acting up and shit and wouldn't sit down. And the bus driver did what I used to do in my marked unit when I had somebody in the back seat that was handcuffed and they were showing their ass. I would be going about 85. I just lock up my brakes, and face plan. And it's a bus driver last week face planning the kids to make them behave. This bus driver didn't get that chance, and little Reeves saved the day. Good job, son.
By the way, that was Swim, not Woody, that did that.
I'm sorry, yes. Someone who isn't me. Yeah. Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of an LSU Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations on that are probably over.
Yeah, gotta be. Gotta be.
His mom and dad on camera talking about him being a little hero is kind
but you know,
kind of
you
a
can't,
cute thing to say.
That's just pure instinct, man. You either got it or you don't. And Lil Reeves has it.
Yeah,
Lil Reeves has it. Love it, man.
And he said that he learned how she operated the bus by watching her.
Right.
So he was
He's
watching
intelligent to
her
watch.
work the brake and everything else.
It wasn't like us throwing spitballs on
Yeah.
the bus
No,
and shit.
no,
Yeah.
he was
Flipping, mooning people that are coming by in cars.
a kid going places that we never could have gone.
Right.
Let's move to the story that was the dominant story across the country over the weekend and into yesterday. I'm talking about this Texas killer who remains
Crazy
on the loose. Francisco Oropesa, who has re-entered the U.S. illegally as many as 4 or 5 times. They keep going back and forth on the number, but you know, 4 or 5. He's on the run after allegedly killing 5 neighbors execution style on Friday night because they confronted him, or at least his neighbor, the father, confronted him about firing a rifle on his property. I believe they said it was around 11 at night. You guys do a lot of shooting.
Yep.
Shoot at 11 o'clock at night?
Only at it.
Woody's a bad example.
Someone isn't me.
Probably.
Well, actually, it's
I
not
withdraw
illegal.
the question, Your Honor.
It's not illegal to shoot hogs at night now, only during rifle season, deer rifle season, and swim.
Okay, but that's not in a neighborhood like setting.
No.
So this guy was out shooting at 11
neighborhood.
something at night. I mean, I don't know how much of a neighborhood it is, but certainly he was the neighbor and apparently lived there for 3 years or so. So the neighbor who's got a young child that they're trying to get to sleep is being kept awake by this gunfire. So he goes over to, kindly ask his neighbor if, now might not be a good time to stop the shooting.
Pretty sure he should call the cops. Your neighbor is firing a firearm, and you got to go confront him.
Well, that's a really.
I mean, I'm not victimizing whatever. It's horrible, but we're giving you a service tip. If your neighbor's firing a firearm, don't approach them. You don't know if they're intoxicated. You don't know if they're high. You don't know if they're crazy. Let the professionals handle it. Well,
and unclear whether there was some kind of pre-existing relationship. They said he lived there for 3 years, and so they knew him. Certainly didn't know him the way that we all understand who he is now. But the FBI said Sunday that authorities have no leads in the search for Francisco Oropesa. He's a Mexican national. This all happened in Cleveland, Texas, outside of Houston. The Texas governor's office, state agencies, the FBI are offering a combined, now it's up to $130,000 reward for tips leading to his capture. Many suspect, since he has been back and forth over the years with Mexico, that he made a run for the border immediately after and is back in Mexico right now. But the manhunt is going on regardless. We do not know where he is. That's why we've come up with this reward. FBI's Houston special agent in charge, James Smith, told reporters on Sunday, adding that he's sure Oropesa has contacted friends since becoming a fugitive and is likely receiving some assistance. He was last encountered by ICE in 2016. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, as everyone knows, a big lover of his Border Patrol officers, was on the Meet the Press show on Sunday with Chuck Todd and refused to comment on Oropesa's immigration status after Todd said there was a question about him having received a, quote, consulate card, meaning he was here legally, but then perhaps he had overstayed whatever that legal time frame was. The FBI released 4 photos of Oropesa's face, including one of a large tattoo of a woman wearing a headdress on one of his arms. We'll post that. Obviously, we've got a lot of listeners in the Houston area, in Texas.
Hey, if you see him, though, don't approach him. Call the professionals.
Absolutely. He could be anywhere now, San Jacinto County Sheriff Greg Capers said Saturday night, adding that investigators have widened the perimeter from about 5 or 6 square miles to as much as 10 or 20, depending on whether or not he now, one of the things that really crossed them up is his cell phone was pinging. So he left his phone on, and his phone was pinging, and they thought they had him geolocated, and he was smart enough to leave the phone somewhere to send them on a wild goose chase and create more time for himself. The victims, Sonia Argentina Guzman, who's 25, Daniel Enrique Lasso Guzman, who was 8, Diana Velasquez Alvarado, 21, Jaleesa Molina Rivera, 31, and Jose Jonathan Caceres, 18. Wilson Garcia, who is the father who originally approached Oropesa, who has lost his wife and his son in the shooting, told KTRK TV they were preparing to call the police after they asked Oropesa to stop shooting his AR-15, so it was an AR he was shooting, because it was late and their 1-month-old baby couldn't sleep. But Oropesa entered their home and started shooting before they could make the call. So he went over, asked him to stop, walked back home, and right as he got home, Oropesa was entering his house and beginning to shoot. And he went room to room in the house. In fact, adults were laying on top of kids to protect them as he was going through the house. So two women were found lying on top of 3 children, all of whom survived in an attempt to shield them from bullets. So Garcia said he'd never had a problem with Oropesa previously in the 3 years his family had lived there. So, as I was saying, that's probably why he felt somewhat comfortable in going over there. He said he can't believe what he did. He allegedly shot each of the 5 victims in the head. Some of the victims' bodies shielded the young children who survived and were transported to hospitals. Capers said initially that officials believed that they had trapped Oropesa in a wooded area about a mile away from the crime scene, but later discovered that he wasn't there. Capers said that law enforcement recovered Oropesa's cell phone, which they were likely using to track him. So they got outsmarted on that one, and this guy's loose. And like you said, Jim, probably on the other side of the border, but hopefully our friends in Mexico can help us with this manhunt and extradite. I mean,
they'll catch him. He can't outrun the warrant. Even they called El Chapo right in the end several times, but it's a horrible case, and what's the world come to? I don't even get it.
This is really just an awful ending to a wedding day. A new bride was killed when a DUI suspect crashes into her golf cart in Folly Beach, South Carolina.
Jeez.
So I'm going to tell you about this. A woman died just hours after saying "I do" when a suspected drunk driver rear-ended a golf cart carrying the bride and groom home from a wedding. It happened near Charleston, South Carolina at Folly Beach on Friday night. Beautiful area.
Right.
The Folly Beach Police Department said Jamie Lee Komorski, 25, was driving at 65 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone when she crashed into the back of the golf cart. The golf cart was carrying 4 people, including the new bride and groom. The bride, 34-year-old Samantha Miller of Charlotte, North Carolina, died from the crash. A GoFundMe has been set up for the families. And y'all, it's raised more than $100,000 in just a matter of hours.
300. It was over 300 late last night.
There you go. So there's a hot update from Mike. Now over $300,000. The groom's mother said in the GoFundMe that her son had multiple broken bones and a brain injury. And as of this report, he remains hospitalized and in need of surgery. Now, Komorski was arrested on 3 counts of felony DUI and 1 count of reckless homicide. Folly Beach Police Department has not released the results of her blood alcohol concentration test as of yet.
Yeah.
So just an awful story of what should have been the best day of your life, and you end up losing your life over an idiot who gets behind the wheel when you have so many other options nowadays. That's the thing.
65.
Got so many options.
Yep.
Uber.
Yeah.
Just horrible. 65 and a 25.
The pictures that were on Facebook, just imagine the happiest moments day of your life. Minutes before, this was the happiest woman on earth, and it's so fleeting.
Yeah.
That fast.
Yeah.
It's gone on your wedding day.
Absolutely
Horrible.
Crazy.
Horrible. So I hope they throw the freaking book at her.
Well, I'm sure
They will.
I'm sure they are. So
We need something after that story, Jim.
Yeah, we really do, Mike. And
we need a mood changer.
We do need a mood changer. So, I'm thinking,
Major mood changer.
y'all know what that means.
I wonder if he's that
Yes, my favorite segment.
Yeah.
Hosted by the one and only Woody Overton.
And y'all, it's Kinky Crimes from May 3rd, 2023. Now, Jim, I got to ask you, I was reading the story ahead of time. You a fan of the golden shower?
No.
No? Mike's not saying anything? Or I assume he's a fan. He's going to abstain from answering.
Take the 5th on the golden.
No golden showers.
There's golden showers, but what
Not
about
into
golden
it.
showers in public? That's a whole new level. This was kind of fits that. So check this one out. 19-year-old Madison Bryant was riding with her boyfriend when they got into an argument about their relationship.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And she demanded that he pull over so she'd get out of the car and walk to wherever they were going. Well, that's happened to me a few times, right? Unfortunately for him, he was picked up not too far away by the police for driving while intoxicated. That should have happened to the asshole in the last story. The authorities found Madison sitting in the median in Leesburg, Florida, about 45 miles northwest of Orlando, around 2:20 a.m. in the morning.
Sitting in the median.
Just hanging out. At least she didn't get killed or run over. Now, up to this point, Madison was cool. She wasn't facing any charge, y'all. But the cops roll up on her, and she said, "Hey, y'all, can I go to the bathroom?" And they said, "Yeah, we'll take you to the bathroom. You can go, we'll take you to the gas station. It's close by." And Madison was like, "Fuck that. I'm going to just do what I got to do."
She had to go bad.
She whips off her pants, and she gets in front of the police car. The push bars on police cars, you know what they are? The black things, when you ram cars or whatever. She grabs hold, she takes off her pants and her panties, grabs hold of the push bar for leverage, and started giving the golden shower.
Yes.
Right? But even though she wasn't peeing directly on anyone, and thank God Mike wasn't there because he'd been trying to run and get up underneath it.
Sprinting, Woody. I would have been in a dead sprint.
But y'all, you know what? This is a bad idea. And
It's a bad idea.
After she finished, Madison was arrested for disorderly intoxication. Now, that's an easy way to go on her because she got public indecency, all kinds of different things. But they cuff her and stuff her, and on the way to jail, Madison kept asking the officer for her vape pen she claims that she used it for anxiety. Then Madison took it a step further and offered the officer certain sexual favors in exchange for the vape.
Hey.
Not a bad idea. They're trying to bribe a public servant such as a police officer is a felony, right? And that was added to the list of Madison's charges. So I'm pretty sure back in the day they used to call that breaking a limb when cops having sex on duty. But you know, I don't know. I'm sure they have this on camera somewhere. I want to know if she offered him. Maybe she offered him a golden shower.
Maybe so. I mean, when you got a vape, you got a vape. Woody Overton. Yeah, I mean, you got to negotiate. That's just part of it.
Vape, not rape. I mean, she offered it up. Sexual favors. I would like to know what that is. But that is today's Keep It Quiet.
Oh yeah. Hope y'all like that one. I sure did.
I wanted to use that voice.
Mike really liked it.
Yeah. You know,
Mike's just sitting off. I forgot Mike was here.
I'm like cataloging these things. I think we've gone from a foot fetish to someone who was
don't forget
who was stealing shoes and ejaculating in them last week to someone trying to give a golden shower.
I thought you were going to talk about our Butterfuca shirts.
No, that used to be was one of our uptrending segments. I think you're taking it. Down now. That was not.
I'm sorry. Hey, we got to post this picture.
Oh, we will. Okay, let me see. Sorry. Let me see.
All right. You say you can get me going with pictures? Like, come on, man. That's a mugshot. It put some.
Look, y'all. She's
no filter on that.
She's not a bad looking young lady. I guess.
Scary.
I bet.
Scary.
Well, she had a rough night.
I bet her boyfriend wants proof of what the sexual favors were, so that maybe that's what they were arguing about in the car.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get the I-team on that.
Yeah. All right. Thank y'all. Jim, I got to ask you a question because a fan once in the night, they said, every time Kinky Crimes comes on, Jim puts on his Barry White's voice. There's
a story to that. Maybe one day I'll share that
we'll get Wendy
with my Let's Get It On music.
Yeah.
There's a story there somewhere.
Barry White's undefeated lifetime for setting the mood. Come on. Ally McBeal. You remember?
I remember that show vaguely.
Okay, they brought Barry White back in that show. They used Barry White music all the time in that show. You don't remember?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about that show.
Go on YouTube and stream that show. You'll see it. Let's move to Colorado, where 3 jackass teenagers did something just unbelievable. Their names are Joseph Koenig, Nicholas Carroll Chick, and Zachary Quack. And they are currently facing charges of first-degree murder and extreme indifference. And I'd never heard of extreme indifference, but that's certainly what they showed. So according to the arrest affidavit, the scene was a grisly one. A young woman by the name of Alexa Bartelli was speaking to a friend on the phone from her car when she suddenly went silent. So her friend, the line just went dead. When police and EMS arrived at the scene, they found Bartelli with a large head wound and no pulse. A large landscaping rock was found nearby with traces of blood on it. 3 Colorado teens are charged with killing Bartelli by throwing a large landscaping rock on her car from an overpass on April 19th. According to an April 26th Jefferson County Sheriff's release, Bartelli was killed when quote, the rock was thrown through her windshield as she was driving northbound in the 10,600 block of Indiana Street at approximately 10:45 p.m. Her car was, quote, the last of a series of vehicles struck by large landscaping rocks in a spree that began shortly after 10 p.m. that night at 100th and Sims in the town of Westminster. So these 3 teens thought it'd be fun to start throwing big landscaping rocks at vehicles on the road below them at 10 o'clock at night. Nothing bad could come from that, right?
Think about it, they had to go steal them from somewhere first. So probably riding around drinking, like back in Halloween, come around, we used to take people's pumpkins off their porch if they weren't carved and go drink and carve them up and put them back. But they had to go steal these rocks. And then we're like, what are we going to do with them?
Well,
we're going to throw them at cars.
There's being remorseful, and then there's absolutely showing zero remorse. So these three, Koenig, Carol Chick, and Quack, have been charged with first-degree murder of 20-year-old Alexa Bartelli. They allegedly returned to take photos of the crime scene, quote, as a memento, according to court documents that were obtained by the NBC affiliate there in Colorado. So the files also reportedly alleged that the three suspects, all of whom were 18, met up the day after the murder to coordinate their stories and took a blood brother, quote, blood brother oath,
right,
vowing not to speak of the attack to anyone. So while authorities do not currently know who was driving a black 2016 Chevy Silverado connected to the rock throwing, all three of the suspects are believed to have taken part. They have since been arrested and are currently facing charges, again, of first-degree murder and extreme indifference. On Thursday, they appeared before District Judge Mark Randall in Jefferson County. This was done on Zoom. They didn't appear in person and did not enter pleas. So they have not, as of yet, entered a plea. They will return to court on May 3rd, and we will see if they enter pleas that day.
Yeah, they will. And you know what? This really happens way more than makes the headlines. What's happened in Baton Rouge just a couple of years ago, kids throwing shit off the overpasses, but just fortunately most times just bust windshields or mess up hoods and people don't get killed like this innocent lady.
Yeah,
that's just
idiots.
In my dumbest days, I wouldn't have done that.
Never had that thought.
And I've had a lot of great dumb days.
Yeah, me too. But I've never had that thought. Never crossed my mind.
I catch my kids.
Idiots.
Beat their ass. They're all grown now, but except for one. But hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin-baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/reallife. That's GOBBLE.com/real-life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
Build up to Black Friday with savings all month long at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to pick up holiday inflatables under $20. Don't wait to save, in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items while supplies last.
Well, let's talk about scams for a minute. And right in our neck of the woods, which is Livingston Parish, Louisiana, the sheriff of Livingston Parish has issued kind of an alert on some scams involving the popular app Snapchat.
There you go, the one I don't have.
Yeah, so Sheriff Jason Ard said these scammers are out for one thing, your money. Here's how it works. The scammer targets juvenile or young adult males and they pose as females using fake photos.
Catfishing, right?
Catfishing. They're wanting an intimate relationship with the victim. Mm-hmm. So the scammers, they'll send explicit photos to the victim, and they say, hey, how about you show me a little bit of you?
Right.
So you send them back in return.
I'll show you mine.
That's it. That's it. So once the victim sends the photos, the scammers attempt to extort money from the victim. Uh-oh. You mean she ain't real?
Uh-huh. We got your pecker on video now.
That's it.
Mama, you don't want your mama to see that.
That's right. So the scammers typically ask for payment using gift cards, cryptocurrency, or transferring money via one of the many cash apps. If the victim doesn't pay up, the scammers say they will send photos to their family and friends via social. If you or a family member falls victim, you just advise them to stop communicating with the suspects and ignore them. Now, LPSO, Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office, did their own investigation, and that revealed that these Snapchat accounts are fake.
Right.
Money is being moved overseas, and the money is totally unrecoverable. So we encourage you to continue communicating with LPSO if you're in the Livingston Parish, Louisiana area, and let them know if something like that's happening. Although most people would probably be embarrassed to call the police and say, I sent a dick pic.
Some picture of me pulling my pud.
Ended up being a dude wanting money out of me.
And credit to Sheriff Ard for being proactive on that, because I could tell you this: if they investigated, it wasn't just one case. They had to have several of them come forward, and hate it for the victims, but y'all, don't be sending. Make sure it's a real human being.
That's right.
Send a dick pic. Make them hold up sign today's date and tell them to hold up 3 fingers. Middle finger, something.
Yeah,
you got to be a little bit less horny than that. Okay, thank you. Clear.
Look, and Sheriff Ard did issue some kind of best tactics when dealing with this. He said, don't open emails that claim your Snapchat account is locked. Don't click on them. Don't look for dates or online romances using Snapchat. Never send money to anyone you meet via Snapchat. Check with friends to make sure they weren't hacked if you start receiving messages, and block any accounts that seem off or ask for your personal information. So you'd be surprised how many people don't know that. I mean, they'll get emails saying, oh, your Snapchat account's been locked. Click here to unlock it. Enter your password.
I get that all the time.
Never.
PayPal scam or whatever. I wish I could get on video. I get it for get an email from Mike Agovino saying, hey, I really like Joey Buttafuoco. Click on this link. I know that's when you click on that link, then they have access to your shit. So
that's right.
Mike was hacked. Oh, okay. All right.
Well, and look, with where everything is with AI, these schemes are just going to get more elaborate. Think of that phony kidnapping story we told last week. I mean, they're just going to get more and more elaborate.
Agreed.
Yep.
We hear way too many stories out of big cities like Chicago and New York about, collateral damage from gangs or other gunfights in the city where a young kid accidentally gets hit and killed by a stray bullet. This is maybe the craziest stray bullet story I've ever heard, at least craziest stray bullet location. An 18-year-old Texas A&M Texarkana player was hit while standing in the bullpen area by what police said appeared to be a stray bullet from a nearby altercation. The stray bullet struck a college player for Texas A&M Texarkana in the middle of a ball game on Saturday, according to local police and the university. The 18-year-old player was hit at about 5:30 p.m. as he was standing in the bullpen area at the game against the University of Houston Victoria, which was being played at George Dobson Field at Spring Lake Park in Texarkana. The bullet appeared to come from, quote, some type of altercation in a nearby neighborhood to the west of the park, according to police. The player, whose identity has not been released, was stable Saturday night at the hospital, according to the university. The police department said in an announcement, of the incident Saturday that he was going into surgery. So imagine you're warming up because you're likely to come into a ball game, and all of a sudden you are hit with gunfire. Right. The game was declared no contest, and so it was stopped right then and there, and will be made up at a later date. They also the next day a softball game involving the university's team that had been scheduled to be played at LSU Alexandria was canceled as well. And so talk about strange locations for stray bullets. Right? The bullpen. The bullet pen. As
first time I ever heard a location like that, that's for sure. In crazy. Now I'm going to take you to this story should be called Dumb Criminals if it wasn't so serious, I guess. I'm going to take you out to Southern Cal, old Mike's stomping grounds, where a man was found guilty of murdering 3 teenage boys after he was accused of ramming into their vehicle with his car after they played a doorbell ringing prank on him. Anurag Chandra, 45, was convicted on 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. So, and naturally, this is a horrible tragedy and everything, y'all. So, but the incident occurred in January of 2020 in California when 6 teens had reportedly been playing Ding Dong Ditch, a game where they pranked houses by ringing doorbells and driving away. Well, we kind of all have done that, right? But I was a little more original than that. We would take a garbage can, half filled with water, and swim. We'd take a garbage can, half full of water, half full of paint, and lean it against the door like that.
Oh my
and
God!
Ring it, and then
kill you.
The other one swim would do was take fecal matter and put it in a paper bag and soak it with gas.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that was a popular one.
They come out and stomp on it. But these guys,
they call it a shit bomb,
right? So anyway, the killer said in court that one of the boys had rung his doorbell and shown his buttocks before getting back in the car, and which made him really mad, right? And he also said he had 12 beers hours before the incident, was worried about the safety of his family. Well, he's not much of a beer drinker because I can have 12 beers in an hour. All right, but so he hauls ass after the teens who had been seen in their 2002 Toyota Prius, was driven by 18-year-old Sergio Campuzana, and rammed into the car, which caused it to hit a tree. One boy was announced dead at the scene. 2 others died at the hospital, and the remaining 3 suffered non-life-threatening injuries. These 3 fatal victims were identified as Daniel Hawkins, Jacob Ivasu, and Drake Reyes, all of whom were 16 years old. That's crazy, y'all. Chandler, the killer, said in court that he had not intended to crash into the teen's car, but did after the teens braked suddenly. I mean, how do you think it's going to end? You're chasing a Prius, right? He also said that he did not stop after hitting him because he didn't realize anyone had been injured at the time. Well, I'm pretty sure that's bullshit. And he's going to be sentenced sometime in July, y'all.
Over a ding-dong ditch.
I mean, last week we had the demonic guy, which if y'all hadn't seen that picture, you need to look it up, who shot and killed a 6-year-old because the ball rolled into the yard. And now we got multiple murders because of ding-dong ditch, because basically some dude mooned him. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it anymore. But, I mean, people ringing doorbells and paint and water and garbage cans and shit bombs and stuff like that. You don't really hear about that anymore. But you certainly don't hear about mass murder in a Prius.
Well, you don't hear much about you don't hear much about pranks, period, these days. And maybe it's because nobody can take a joke these days.
Yeah, and too busy on social media.
It's that, and it's also cameras are so prevalent.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, you do that nowadays. You're on 9 cameras. You go up to somebody's house.
Okay, but what's the crime? What's for a ding dong ditch?
I mean, maybe,
trespassing?
Maybe 1463 trespassing or disorderly conduct, something like that. It's misdemeanors if you get caught.
Yeah,
because if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna dress up like Joey Buttafuoco, and dude, I'm not gonna look like Woody Overton.
All right. Let me bring y'all back to Texas. And a Texas man on a date who paid $40 to park only to learn inside a Houston burger joint that he was scammed, went back and fatally shot the man posing as an attendant and then returned to dinner. That's right. Eric Auger appeared in court on murder charges in the April 11th death of 46-year-old Elliot Nix. His bond was set at $200,000. Now, Auger, who was 29, told his date everything was fine and that he just scared the man after returning to the Rodeo Goat restaurant. That's right, the Rodeo Goat. Yeah, that blew my mind too. From the parking lot, they then started walking to the table but left to eat someplace else after Auger looked uncomfortable. Auger's date contacted police 2 days later after police released the photos of the couple, and they were identified by Crime Stoppers. Now, police say Auger, 29, and his date had parked their vehicles near a downtown restaurant when Nix approached them. He said it cost $20 each to park their cars, according to the probable cause affidavit, and Auger paid the $40, but was later told by an employee in the restaurant when he asked about it that Nix didn't work for the restaurant.
Oh, my God.
Nix basically scammed him.
Right.
Well, that pissed him off. So an employee at a nearby smoke shop tells police he saw Auger run back to his car, grab a pistol, and then go after Nix. The employee said both men went out of view, but then he heard a gunshot right before 8 p.m. Then he sees Auger. He nonchalantly walks back to his car with the gun in his hand before putting the gun back in his car. Then he walks back in the restaurant to sit down with his date. Now, Nix, he got taken to the hospital where he later died. Auger was arrested earlier this week, and he remains jailed.
One of two things.
How about that?
What
finished his dinner.
What did he have for dinner? Did he get laid? And did he get any money off the guy that took the money from him?
Over $40.
And is he related to Taco Vigilante, who just a few months ago?
There's a good,
you know what?
There's a good possibility. Him and
Because
Taco are just.
We're going to bring you the update on Taco.
They should go out together to dinner because.
Hey, you know what?
No telling how many people they can take out.
Somebody got killed, but he won't be stealing any more money.
I'd
rather deal with a killer than a thief. It's just a fact.
What was that?
I'd rather deal with a killer than a thief. As a cop, I hate a fucking thief.
Really?
People kill people. I mean, this guy killed the people because he was pissed off. The guy in the other story killed the people because he was drunk and it was a Prius. I mean, they did bad shit, right? I'm not talking about like the asshole from the earlier story that's now in Mexico when they kill everybody. But sometimes people just kill people. A thief is just a fucking thief. Yeah, get a job. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel.
Deep Thoughts.
Yeah.
By Jack Andy.
By Woody Overton.
Yeah.
Well,
I hate a thief.
It seems like they've got a little bit of vigilanteism going on around there in them parts, and that's sort of the way Texas always operated, isn't it?
It's still the way they still operated. Yep.
Okay.
They're trying to become their own country. Y'all see that?
Yeah. Well, you know that there's a big debate there. But
yeah, that's it.
Well,
we're not going to get into politics.
Okay. I know that you.
I probably would move there.
I know that you don't like thieves, but I want you to suspend your animosity for thieves until I get through most of the story. Okay. Okay. All right. So don't.
I'm going to say anything.
Just reserve judgment until.
I'm not going to flip the table
until the end. Okay. I want to talk to you about the Wyandotte Police Department in Michigan. You ever heard about the Wyandotte Police Department in Michigan? Were you there?
I was there the other day.
Okay. Well, there's a problem with a theft that happened actually inside the Wyandotte Police Department. And rather than, and I guess maybe this is similar to you, rather than take this through any kind of official process, the officers decided to kind of take the law into their own hands and figure out what had happened here. And what better venue to do that than to do it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And so
social media.
They took this particular matter to Facebook and saying sunlight is the best disinfectant for purging corruption, and they wanted the corruption exposed. And so in the end, this particular officer that is accused of stealing was let off the hook. And they, you can determine whether justice was served here. But this is an actual post from the Wyandotte Police Department. It saddens us to report that a current officer of the WPD is under investigation for stealing. The incident happened 2 days ago at the station. Officer Barwig was eating lunch in the break room when he was called to assist with a person in the jail. He quickly jumped into service, leaving his half-eaten lunch on the table. A short while later, Barwig and another officer returned to the break room only to find an Officer Ice strolling out of the room, licking his chops. When they looked further in the room, Barwig's entire lunch was gone, disappeared, vanished.
And
I have a picture here of Officer Ice.
how about you?
Officer Ice has invoked his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent.
I did not see this one coming.
And quite frankly, he is not cooperating with the investigation at all. He has a history of rummaging through trash cans that are within his reach.
Oh my God.
There have been several other accusations of him taking food right from coworkers' hands even as they walk by. The WPD will consider our Facebook followers' opinions on how to proceed with this investigation.
That's funny.
And then in a subsequent post, the department updated Officer Ice's situation. Dozens of attorneys have offered to defend Officer Ice pro bono.
Oh my God.
If you haven't figured this out yet. The WPD was threatened with massive protests if they moved forward with the investigation and charges. So overall, the public weighed in heavily and on Officer Ice's side, and so Officer Ice will not face any charges, will not face any internal discipline of any kind, and we will post a lovely picture of Officer Ice. What would you say is Officer Ice's breed?
Probably Malinois. Yeah. And
good looking, fine looking.
I saw on the board
animal.
when y'all were doing stories earlier something about K9, but I didn't pay attention. I swear to you, I thought it was going to be a human thief story, a human dirty cop. But you know what? Shame on that cop for leaving his food out. A lot keeps the honest man honest. I raise Springer Spaniels, and every single time, if my dog walks around the counter in the kitchen, it's kind of open living area, and walks around, I'm like, get out of there, because I already know she's going to get on the counters.
Okay,
and
but
try to eat some food. Dogs be dogs.
Does what happened to Officer Ice impact your opinion on thieves?
No, because
you made some pretty bold statements right before we got into the story.
And you know what? I shouldn't say all thieves, because I don't, organized crime and shit. There's people making a living or whatever. I'm talking about when people steal from other people. That K9 eating that dude's lunch, he shouldn't have left that motherfucker out.
That's it.
And,
Good boy. Good boy, Ice.
Good one.
Good boy, Ice.
And I'm going to tell you what,
They stole what?
They stole what? We come down to it. And,
that could have been a they stole what, couldn't it?
It could have been. That's a good one. Actually, you played me on that one. So y'all, when I went to Wisconsin for the first time with my wife and son, and I told my wife, we hit the state line, I said, look up Wisconsin and see what they're famous for.
Brett Favre.
Nah,
Cheese.
that's killing Mississippi. Cheese and beer. Believe it or not, I was like,
too, yeah.
"This is my kind of place."
Beer, huh?
Beer, that big. So that's what they're famous for.
Miller.
So let me tell you what they stole in Wisconsin: the Wisconsin cheese heist of 2016. In 2016, Wisconsin was hit with 3 high-profile cheese heists ranging from $46,000 to $90,000 worth of stolen cheese. That $90,000 haul was composed entirely of Parmesan, for the record. Mike, you know all about that.
Yeah.
In the $46,000 heist, a truck carrying 20,000 pounds of cheese was reported stolen in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Authorities confirmed that the semi-truck was stolen from a parking lot storage area early in the morning. How about that? Who knew people stole cheese? Well, cheese is a big fucking deal.
Well, you don't steal,
and $100,000.
You don't steal Parmesan from Wisconsin. I mean any self-respecting Italian cook is importing their Parmesan.
Yeah, but they weren't waiting to come over. I'll put some of the Parmesan in Wisconsin up against your people's cheese.
No, you won't.
Listen,
no.
You ever had cheese curds?
Yes.
Oh my God! I stuffed them this week, this past week. In this one place, they have all different kinds. So kind of like pork skins or whatever the fuck. Go ahead.
They do great brats up there too. Did you have any brats?
All that, tons of great meat, tons of great cheese, tons of great beer.
Hey, Woody.
Yo, they stole what? Oh, here we go.
I didn't call for the banjos. I got a call for my banjos.
The banjos have called for you this time.
Banjos have called for me.
We're going to get you some banjo t-shirts, Mike.
Maybe I can learn how to play. I should work on the banjo. I saw a documentary on the making of Deliverance, and you know the banjo scene with the kid. How they did it?
No, I don't know how they did it. I've seen it though.
There was actually someone standing behind him that you couldn't see, whose arms
don't ruin
came
it.
through. No, well,
you're destroying the whole thing.
Watch the Deliverance.
So what's the name again? Fucked in the ass here.
It's a great
squeal, boy,
on that scene. Let me
like a pig.
Let me tell you how they did the rape scene. No, I didn't see that part.
It has someone behind him too.
Stop. Okay,
all right, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I need new banjos. My banjos were ruined.
Squeal, boy.
Okay, we're going to go to Ohio, where a shocked woman woke up to find a napping burglar in her guest bedroom.
Oh.
The Ohio woman reportedly woke up to discover a burglar napping in her guest bedroom after he had broken in overnight, taken a swim in her pool, and even eaten the family's leftover chicken.
Is this another dog story?
Quote, he just helped himself to everything in our house, Stacy Stedman said of the bizarre break-in which occurred at her family home. Stedman, who lives with her husband, her son, and her brother-in-law, that's an interesting setup, said she saw that a light was on in the spare room, where she then found the not-so-smooth criminal snoozing. A quick-thinking gal whose husband, Raymond Pearson, had already left for work before the invasion, woke up her brother-in-law, I guess thankful that the brother-in-law was there, Brian Pearson,
and not in her bed,
who chased the dumb... She didn't say where the brother-in-law was, Woody, but my God, is your head in the gutter. Unfortunately, that was only the tip of the iceberg. The distraught woman subsequently discovered that the door to the backyard was open and that the man's sopping wet trousers were laying by the pool, indicating that he'd taken a swim. She added that the hungry criminal had also apparently finished off the leftovers of the previous night's chicken dinner and even, quote, lit a candle in the bathroom as if their home was an Airbnb. Well, you know what? Maybe he took a nasty one after the and
that was
how
nice of him.
Considerate of him to not do that to her. Before leaving, the creepy nabber even swiped a pair of her son's underwear. Remains
his were wet.
Why not take hers?
Clear how the man, or take the brother-in-law's, remained unclear how the man entered the home, although Stedman's husband had spied the guy walking in the street shirtless before he left for work at 4 a.m. Okay. What a great detective her husband is. I think I'll just head off to work. Oh, there's
shirtless guy headed towards my house.
The shirtless guy, it's 4 a.m. He's headed toward my front door, but you know what? I don't want to be late for work. He reportedly waited until the odd-looking man passed by before he drove off. Okay. When I left here, my family was sound asleep, my wife was safe. Yeah, so
Yeah,
he's
probably.
he's giving excuses.
The guy without the shirt, the bad guy saw him pull off. It's like, holy shit, house is empty.
And he left the front door open when he left, probably. Thankfully, the sleepy chicken snatcher was arrested by police who suspected that he was intoxicated and brought him to a hospital for an examination. The man has since been slapped with a burglary charge and issued a court summons. Nonetheless, Stedman remains rattled by the fact that a prowler was able to infiltrate the home they've been living in for more than a decade. I think instead of being rattled, they should be thanking their lucky stars that all they wanted was a little bit of chicken, a dump, and a nap.
Don't fuck with my chicken.
That was a great dumb criminal segment.
Another great
Michael.
one.
Very good. And here we go. As we told you, it is May 3rd.
Yes, it is.
And
oh, shit. That means I missed my sister's birthday on the 2nd.
Yeah, you better tell her happy birthday.
Susan, happy birthday.
Happy belated
birthday.
Late birthday.
That's right. So you may wonder what else besides Mike's sister's birthday occurred in or around this time. And on May 3rd, 1946, the Japan war crimes trials started. The International Military Tribunals for the Far East starts conducting trials for those military and government officials accused of committing war crimes and crimes against humanity during World War II.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty.
They did a lot.
Well, y'all, at the end of the trial, 7 are sentenced to death, including General Hideki Tojo, Iwan Matsui, and Horatio Kimura.
I'm calling them bitches for not committing carry like the respectable Japanese did when we beat that ass.
No, Jim rattled those Japanese names off.
How you like that?
Did that? You've been practicing.
That's it. I've read it 3 times last
Japanese
night.
phonics, you buy that program?
It worked for me. Look, and while this next one, and this is the last one we're going to give you today, while this next one isn't of crime significance, as I was doing my research, I figured it was too significant not to mention, and that was this day in 1933, the godfather of soul, James Brown, was born in Barnesville, South Carolina.
Too hot for my skin.
Yes.
Yeah, the hot
Feel good.
Yeah,
That might be.
Yeah, too hot for my skin.
Yeah. This is going to make me sweat. This is going to make me wet. Well.
My God. Okay, maybe that's the new kinky
Woody
crimes
lost
opening.
it.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy.
James Brown. Nice.
I love Eddie Murphy.
So that was today, May 3rd in True Crime. And that's about all we got.
And y'all, before we wrap it up, a couple quick things. I want to say thank y'all so much for listening, sharing, and liking us and leaving us reviews. We appreciate y'all. Our numbers are just stupid crazy and wouldn't happen without y'all. And now you can go to Real Life Real Crime Community app, go to the App Store, download it for free. The Real Life Real Crime Daily is in the app now. Y'all go check it out. We go there and answer everybody first before we go to Facebook. And I get locked in Facebook jail all the time, or kicked out, or locked out, or whatever reason. And we're the only ones that censor the app. And for you to get censored in an app, you have to be a real asshole, right? Yeah, or
I would say so.
But if we go,
that's right. Look, hey,
I just want to say that. I mean, these shirts are a microaggression against my people. I am speaking to HR right after we get off the air and putting an end to this, and I will figure out who sent those to you.
Well, we'll probably tell you next time. Anyway.
That's right. And look, hey, check out Bloody Angola, the other podcast hosted by Woody Overton and Jim Chapman.
Yes. Hey, real quick on that. I want to talk about that for a second, y'all. We went to number 5 again this week under documentaries, and it's different. It's not totally true crime, but it's not totally not true crime. But the prison mind has always fascinated me.
It's all true crime.
Yeah. Well, some of us are uplifting stories, and some of it, is where we reach a little bit outside the box on it. But you go check it out. Absolutely one of my favorites, and go see what you're missing, basically. Yep. All right. And I want to say one more thing. Y'all bear with me. We talked about this day in crime, and we talked about your sister's birthday, but May 2nd, 2008 was always a significant date for me because that's the day that Miss Barbara Blunt went missing out of Holden, Louisiana. Y'all, we set up a new tip line. It's in the app. It's on all the social media. The tip line is 313-RLRC-tip. Okay? Call in your tips. Somebody knows something. There's no such thing as a perfect crime. And she's murdered. We don't have the body yet, but I know she's murdered. Call it in. We're going to bring this case home. We need you lifers to help us, please.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And Mike, any last thoughts?
Just thinking what I'm going to cook this week, so I got food on the mind.
There you go.
Yeah, it's hard for me to do that because I enjoy cooking so much, but I'm not bullshitting y'all. I'm telling you, every time we get a box in, we order different meals, and they have hundreds of them, or whatever. When I cook it, I'm even thinking this might not go with this. The shit that they put together, the sauces and the creams.
No,
and
it makes
stuff.
it
Holy
easy.
shit!
Oh, yeah. It's
and
so good.
I don't have to go in the restaurant and deal with the asshole waiter and tip them or go to the grocery store or whatever. And it's stuff that I don't even normally.
Some of
try.
it shocks you. It's
the
those
flavor
quesadillas. Was the best quesadilla I think I've ever had.
Right. That's crazy.
Agreed.
Code RLRC 50.
That's right. HelloFresh.com.
HelloFresh.
All right. Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino,
your host of Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.
Schabusiness.